Hello and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. My name is Bob Power, and on behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you've joined us for our next live presentation from Argentina Lithium and Energy Corporation. Please note you can submit questions in the box to the left of the slides. You can also view a company's availability for one-on-one meetings through the Schedule Meetings tab found on the conference platform. At this point, I'm very pleased to welcome Miles Rideout, Vice President of Exploration at Argentina Lithium and Energy Corporation, which trades on the OTCQB venture market under the symbol PNXLF and on the TSXV under the symbol LIT. Welcome, Miles.
Thank you very much, Bob, and thank you everybody for attending this presentation. During the presentation, I will be making forward-looking statements. So Argentina Lithium and Energy is an exploration company focused on four large lithium properties in northwest Argentina. And these are located in the Lithium Triangle. Just a little bit of background for people who aren't familiar with the district. The lithium projects in the Lithium Triangle, which is an area of southern Bolivia, northern Chile, and northwest Argentina. These projects are located in salt lakes. And when we talk about producing a lithium mine in this district, it's not conventional mining the way we would expect with, say, copper or gold. What we're talking about building is production well fields. So we would be drilling these salt lake deposits, extracting subterranean brine solutions, pumping these to surface, and then extracting lithium from those brines in the surface plant, and then eliminating the brines either through reinjection into the slough or evaporating off the water component. These deposits are attractive because of their scale and the low production cost. It's much easier to drill a well field and produce lithium from brines than to make a hard rock mine, the way it's done in Australia, for instance, or some other places. This makes this district attractive for explorers. Once you're looking at the Lithium Triangle, and you're looking at the three countries where these projects are located, in our opinion, Argentina is the most prospective investment destination because the projects in Argentina are regulated the same way that any other mining commodity is. They're regulated at a provincial level, and once a project goes into production, there's a 3% net smelter royalty paid to the province, the same way for any other mineable commodity. If you're looking at the neighboring countries of either Chile or Bolivia, lithium is considered a strategic mineral, and there's special regulations for how lithium is handled in those areas. And to our mind, projects in those neighboring countries don't represent the kind of value for investors that we see for our lithium projects. For our Argentina-based projects. I'll be talking about those projects in more detail, and I'll just point out a piece of recent news that we announced. This is going back to August of this year. Stellantis Corporation, so one of the world's largest automotive manufacturers, they represent Chrysler, Fiat, and Peugeot, for instance. They invested $90 million in our company with the objective of funding our exploration and initial development stages over the next 3 years. Stellantis's interest in this is they want to see us take our leading projects into production in the shortest time frame possible. We're talking about going to production, say, over the next 5 to 6 years. We're exploration stage as it is right now, but they've given us the green light to try and advance our projects through to production as quickly as possible. They provided us $90 million in funding. We've been working with Stellantis since February of this year. They visited all of our projects with their consulting geologists and engineers, reviewed our exploration plan, and at the end of all that process, they provided us, as I say, $90 million of funding. And that allows us to accelerate exploration on our two core property assets as quickly as we can. We're part of the Grosso Group. It's a Vancouver-based exploration company management team. They manage three different resource companies. One's a uranium company, one's a base metals and precious metals company, and then the third is us, a lithium company. Those companies are unrelated aside from a joint management group. And that provides us a depth of experience in Argentina. The Grosso Group's been active in Argentina over the last 30 years. And we also share a lot of infrastructure in Argentina. So that would be our office space, some of our technical teams. For instance, the graphic interface team is shared between the companies. Our legal group and our administrative group is shared between three companies. What this means is that we have access to greater expertise and ability for a small company of our size, and it only costs 1/3 of its actual value. It means that when we're doing property evaluations or legal negotiations, we have greater technical ability than we otherwise might have, and we only pay for 1/3 of that ability. It's split between the three companies. That group, the Grosso Group, over the last 30 years, they found 4 world-class deposits in Argentina. These are 3 precious metal deposits, and 2 of those are in production. And the Amarillo Grande uranium project is a new uranium district in Argentina. This demonstrates that the Grosso Group knows how to acquire properties, take those properties through exploration into development stages, negotiate development contracts, and then get the projects into production. Those projects are not related to our company. They just demonstrate the track record of the Grosso Group in Argentina. This is what our company looks like. So the board members across the top there, and they've been involved with the Grosso Group for a long time, and with our Lithium group for at least five years. I'm the exploration manager. My background, I'm an exploration geophysicist. I've been working with the Grosso Group as a consultant for almost 30 years, and I've been heading up the exploration team here at Argentina Lithium over a little more than 2 years. We've been pretty active over that time. And my background, I've been I've been in South America since 1989, and working primarily in Argentina since 1997. So the way things go here, I look like an old hand for exploration in Argentina as well. If you look at the lithium business, it's a booming industry. It's if we look at what the lithium industry was 10 years ago, so 2013, the entire world's production of lithium 10 years ago had the value of about the same value as the production from one world-class scale copper project, like a porphyry copper deposit. Over the last 10 years, the world production of lithium has increased 4 times over, and the market value of lithium carbonate has increased between 5 and 10 times over. That means that the lithium industry over 10 years has increased in value between 20 and 40 times over. And the lithium industry is still growing exponentially. This represents a tremendous opportunity. We're taking an industry which was a fledgling industry, say 10 or 12 years ago, to a massive energy adjacent industry in the coming years. And I think that we're going to see huge growth, particularly on the electric vehicle side. The legislation in North America and in Europe, where the majority of personal vehicles after 2030 will be electric vehicles, it's a huge game changer for our industry. This means that if you're investing in the lithium business, you're investing in a strongly growing industry, as opposed to, say, conventional mining industries. Most of those would represent approximately steady state industries. You're responding to booms and declines in the markets, but you're not in the same situation that we have, where we're taking industry from near zero into a very large industry. This map shows our projects in northwest Argentina, and the blue shaded zones in this map are the salt lakes of northwest Argentina. We're looking at the provinces of Salta in the upper part of this map and Catamarca in the lower part of this map. These are both pro-mining provinces which support lithium exploration development very strongly. What that white space you see off the top left side of the map, that is Chile, where our projects are very close to the border with Chile. And the border with Chile means that we're about 250 kilometers, call that about 180 miles from the Pacific coast. And there's a deep water port at Antofagasta on the Pacific coast. We've got rail lines and international highways running close by our projects and running down to the Pacific port of Antofagasta, Chile. Our properties on this map are the red outlines, and up in the north, you'll see that there's 3 red outlines around the Salar de Rincon. It's the northernmost blue shaded zone there. The central part of that basin is owned by Rio Tinto Mining. Rio Tinto purchased the resource in the central part of that salt lake about 18 months ago. They paid $820 million for it, and they're taking that central project into production. As you can see from the map, we have properties immediately to their west, to the north, and now to their east. That was a recent news release. We acquired the eastern property there. So we're sort of surrounding the Rio Tinto project, and that is our focus for drilling right now. If we're counting down from the north, the next project down in a straight line south is the Pocitos project. It's a very large project for us, but the Pocitos Salar has to date only produced lower grade brines. To contrast this, the Rincon Salar that I was referencing earlier has strong mid-grade brines. We would prefer to see mid-grade brines, and Pocitos is a prospective area for us. We are not drilling it right now. We're conducting geophysics there today, and this is a development area where we'll be moving our exploration assets. Once we have our 2 core projects on track to production, we'll be returning to Pocitos and developing this area to produce what we would envisage would be a large tonnage, lower grade resource. The extraction technologies used in the brine, lithium brine industries, they are advancing over time, and we expect that there will be new technologies coming on over the next 5 or 6 years, whereby these large tonnage, lower grade resources would be economically viable, looking ahead, but they're not our focus today. If we continue going to the south and a little bit to the west or left in this map, you'll see that there's a very long blue shaded area that's sort of plunging to the lower left corner of the map. That area is the Antofagasta Salar. It is about 90 miles in length, and it's about 5 miles across. The central part of Antofagasta is held by Albemarle Corporation. They are the world's second largest lithium producer, and they have about a 60 kilometer, say 40-mile extent of that basin. Our project, and it's that green shaded block you see to the north on that long salar, is about 22 miles north-south, and we take our project right from the edge of the Albemarle ground and to the north. Albemarle have a very large resource on their block. Our block is not yet drilled. We're in permitting right now. We'll be doing geophysics investigations there as soon as we have our permits in place. And then we'll be doing a lot of drilling. I think once we get that project into motion, that will rapidly become our lead project. I'll make the point that Antofagasta is another mid-grade salar basin. So both Rincon and Antofagasta typically produce lithium brines with 350 to 400 milligram per liter lithium. That's an excellent grade of lithium to take into production, and these are the factors why we've involved ourselves in these areas. We're adjacent to major lithium producers on mid-grade basins and in a position where we can take large property holdings. And then just to finish with this map, on the far lower left corner, you'll see that there's a large red block there and a smaller blue shaded area. That is our Incahuasi project. It's a similar instance to what we have at Pocitos. It's a large basin. In this case, we have the entire basin, but historically it's lower grade brines in the range of 100 to 150 milligram per liters. Lithium. It's not our focus for the time being. It's been possible to get these large property areas in the market over the last 4 years, say, and we're holding those property assets to a time when we think that they will have significant value, and we'll be able to take them forward into production later on this decade. But those two areas, Pocitos and Incahuasi, are not our current focus. The current focus would be Rincon up in the north and Antofalla North in roughly the center part of this map. So this is what the Rincon West project looks like. So the central white shaded area of the basin, that's Rio Tinto Mining. They have a very large brine asset there, and they are going into production right now, employing a direct lithium extraction technique. The green shaded areas around it are our projects. We're currently drilling on the irregular shaped property on the west side. So in the part of that property which is roughly triangular in shape, we have 9 drill holes, which we finished that drilling in May of this year. And now we're drilling 5 holes into that inverted L-shaped area, and I'll be looking at those more closely. Once we have that inverted L-shaped area drilled out, we'll be moving to the north, the Paso de Seco area up there, and drilling between 6 and 8 exploration holes there. And then we'll move to that eastern block called Don Fermin. This is a news release which came out about 3 weeks ago that we'd acquired that ground, and we'll be drilling that area out as well. This salar, it's about 3,800 meters elevation. That red line that you see on the salar is the international highway to Chile. We have 2 towns in the high plains of Argentina within about 1 hour's drive of this project area. And these favorable infrastructure that we're looking at, and there's also an international power line going across our project. Favorable infrastructure like that makes it easy to explore the property, easier and cheaper to take the project into development, and it'll pay dividends once we're in production stage as well. So this is what that initial area on the west side looks like. It's adjacent to the salt flat. It's sort of a sandy, gravelly basin, and our hypothesis was that we have the same brines in that basin that actually occur under the salt flat. Initially, we did geophysics, which demonstrated that we have those electrically conductive brines occurring within 100 meters of surface and then extending to depth. And then our drilling have demonstrated that, yes, we have the same quality of brines on our project that Rio Tinto has in the core of the salt flat. So here you can see the kind of geophysics that we're doing. I won't go into this in great detail, but we're able to image the brines in these brine aquifers or basin areas as electrically resistive or conductive features. So this is a section view that we've blown up on the left-hand side here. So the either dry sediment or fresh water saturated sediment are the white units on top. Once we get into the concentrated lithium brines, those are those purple areas that you can see in this image, and they're up to more than 300 meters in depth in our project area. And then we transition from those into the underlying basement rock units, which are the yellow colored units that you see in this. So we have comprehensive geophysical coverage on this property area, and you can see in this image I've shaded yellow the area which contains these conductive brines. And so you can see that on this initial property block, that was more than 65% of our property area is prospective for these lithium brines. And then we've been drilling these brines, and these are what our results look like. So typically, we're drilling through about 50 meters of dry sediment. Then we get into about 50 meters of sediment saturated with fresh water. That's an important plus for the project. We require fresh water for our extraction processing. At about 100 meters depth, we get into the concentrated brines, and typically we're still in those brines at 300 meters depth, maybe 350 meters depth, at which point we pass into the underlying rock units. And we're tracking as our intervals of interest the areas that range from about 250 milligram per liter lithium up to in excess of 400 milligram per liter lithium. Those are good grades that will allow us to take this project into production. You can see in this figure then the 9 holes that we did in that roughly triangular shaped area on the left-hand side, and the inverted L that we're drilling out now actually heads out over the salt flat. We have 2 drill holes completed there now. We're just beginning our 3rd hole in this area this week, and we've got, once that's completed, 2 more holes to go. We'll be drilling rotary wells where we can do pump tests, and then we'll be taking that drill rig to the northern project, which you don't see on this image. Moving to our next core project, this is the Antofalla North project. Again, our properties are the green shaded areas, and we have almost the entire northern part of the Salt Lake there. And that narrow black outline that you can see in the southwest part of the map, that is the Albemarle property. So you can see that we extend right from Albemarle's border going north. We're in permitting here. We expect to have our exploration permit in Q1 of next year. We'll be doing comprehensive geophysics of the same kind that I was showing previously. And then we'll be drilling up to 30 exploration holes here, plus rotary wells where we can do our pump tests. We'll be moving this project area as quickly as we can. First one exploration drill, then a second drill, and then we'll bring in a larger rotary rig and be drilling production scale wells for our pump tests. This is going to be a big job for us, but we'll be trying to complete all of this work over the next 18 months or so, and then getting both these projects, to resource stage and to pre-feasibility stage as quickly as possible. And then I'll skim over these 2 more quickly. This is the Pocitos project. So this is one of the future prospect areas in our property pipeline. This is about 30 miles south of our core Rincon project. It's a very large salar. It's about 40 miles north-south and about 12 miles east-west. And we have about 25% of that basin. All historic drilling in this basin produces lithium, but typically lower grades in the range of, say, 100, maybe 150 milligram per liter lithium. These will be areas which are interesting in the second half of this decade, not our focus area for right now, although we are doing geophysical exploration to really see what we've got with this property block. And then a similar story. This is our Incahuasi project. This is the southernmost project in our portfolio. We have the entire Incahuasi Basin. Again, it's a very large project. This is 25,000 hectares. We have 4 historic wells drilled here with an average grade of 109 milligram per liter lithium. It's not bad, but it's not what the market's looking for today. We'll be doing geophysical exploration here as well, looking for aquifers that we have missed in the first round of drilling. But this is a project where we'll be focusing exploration assets in the second half of this decade. So this is what our work plan looks like for the next 6 months. So we're focused currently on Rincon West. We finished the first 9 drill hole program. We're on a second 5 drill hole program in that inverted L shape, if you recall from the map. And we're getting our permits in place that we can do pump tests. And once the drilling is completed on that inverted L-shaped area, we'll be moving the same drill rig up to the north and starting on that property, which is immediately north of Rio Tinto mining. And we're just completing our permitting process for Antofalla North. We'll be doing a very large geophysical program on that area. It's a great big property block. It's almost 11,000 hectares that we control there. And then we'll be doing 6 broadly spaced exploration holes, localizing which are the most prospective areas of that basin, and then doing a lot of infill drilling, likely 24 more drill holes to complete exploration at Antofalla North. And from this image, you can see that we're only considering geophysical exploration at Pocitos and Incahuasi. These would be areas where we'd bring our exploration assets to work in a few years' time once the 2 core projects are on the way to production. This is what our stock looks like. So we have 131 million shares outstanding. This would be outstanding in Canada. And fully diluted, we're 230 million shares outstanding. A recent market price is about 50 million Canadian dollars. And then we're always interested to hear from investors. You can reach Sean Perger at the email address and the number shown on the screen. And I would like to take questions now. Let me see what I've got in my question box. So the first one, how does the incoming of a new administration in Argentina impact your timeline and success for the project? Excellent question. So the provinces are the entities which regulate lithium development in Argentina, and these 2 provinces have always been pro-mining and pro-lithium. It's an important economic development for the High Plains area of Argentina. What we anticipate with the new president is he's going to make the country a friendlier business environment. So getting things done like equipment, import, export of product, monetary transactions, these will be we can achieve those kinds of operations more expeditiously going forward. So we think that we're looking forward to at least 4 years of a friendly business environment here. Next question. Can you provide some more color around the Stellantis investment? Example, milestones and timing of receipt of investment funds. We've received those funds, and there are no further milestones for Stellantis. They invested into because they're investing from their Peugeot subsidiary here in Argentina, so they invested into our subsidiary. They took 19.9% of our Argentine subsidiary. They have the option to transfer that ownership into our parent company in Canada. And when they do that, they will have a voting seat on our board of directors. And we expect that they will do that. We did the operation at the local level because it was expedient to do it that way. But we believe that Stellantis would like to have a voting board seat. But the agreement's been signed. There's no further hurdles to closing that deal or anything of the sort. Stellantis is very intent on getting us into production. They would appreciate us to move as quickly as possible towards production. They would like us to be ambitious when we're talking about scope of our projects and how to get things moving forward. More lithium is better to their mind. And they also express that once we're ready for more investment at a development stage, they might be willing to take that investment for us. So it's like having a big brother. We get a lot of support from them. Currently, it's moral support and funding for the next 3 years, but I expect that this will be a helpful business partnership as we go into development. Next question. What is the earliest you can be in production for the Rincon and Antofalla North projects? That's hard to say. Likely, we will have pilot plants in operation at Rincon West, perhaps in 4 years' time. The way we presented it to Stellantis, we show that because Rincon's a bit smaller than Antofalla North, we can get the work done at Rincon more quickly. So everything that we're doing at Rincon, we'll be doing the same thing at Antofalla North about 12 months later. So what I would expect is that we'll be doing a pre-feasibility at Rincon at the end of next year, maybe the first months of 2025. We'll have a pre-feasibility study done. We'll present that to the province. The province takes about a year for permitting, for a production permit, and likely we'll be drilling out production scale wells during that year. We can do that under, if we have the right kind of exploration license, we can drill pump test wells, which would be then converted in production wells. And then we will do the same, all the same steps at Antify North 1 year following what we're doing at Rincon West. I'm sorry, everyone, I'm out of time. It's been a pleasure chatting with you.